What up, bird? Hey. These people do not understand. I'm moving as fast as I can. Sending my prayers to God. He doing whatever he can.
Beautiful black people, what's happening with your boys? Mannish Monday. You know I'm tapping in. So what? I'm 30 minutes late. That's your business, not mine. Time is a construct. And comfortable, just as you was inherently by nature intended to do. Before we get today's show started, I just want to say, man, what an awesome feeling it is to wake up. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever underestimate, or overestimate. Don't ever underestimate someone's daily struggles. Never overestimate uh, what you may perceive as easy for some people that get up and do it. You know what I'm saying? Now that's not no passive aggressive announcement that I woke up feeling any way. No, I just want to be mindful that we get so enamored and you know our space is cluttered with things to do, what we got to do tomorrow, did we do right today, what's this week looking like, that we sometimes, man, just to forget to appreciate waking up. The ache from sleeping sound, if you got a good sound sleep in, the aches if you didn't get a good sleep in. um but man, what a wonderful feeling to wake up. However you wake up, groggy, sober, hungover, happy, sad. Maybe it was a wild dream that got you anxious. Whatever the case, man, I salute you. You know what I'm saying? You woke up this morning, man. Let's be mindful of that, man. Tell somebody, man, you proud they woke up, man, because it made your day better. Not to get all, but I just want to say that, man, we gotta appreciate these little things. You know what I'm saying? That way, there we can focus on the other things. Hey, it's your boy Smith, the speaker, man. It's Mannish Monday. You know how we getting down. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, tap in with your boy, man. You know what I'm saying? Send me an email. Let's get somebody on this show so we can chop it up. I was going to have a guest on today, man, but with the way things unfolded today, it wasn't the right vibe, and I can't bring people on if the vibe ain't right. And it has nothing to do with the individual. It's just talking about overall. You know what I'm saying? Very long weekend. Uh, you know, uh, just a lot of change going on, and just trying to put things in place. Got me out of focus. Not it wasn't a horrible weekend. It was a great weekend. It was just so many things going on, and trying to adjust on the fly. I'm a robot, man. Like, things got to be in order. I don't necessarily mind maneuvering or pivoting, but I prefer things to go in order, such as I plan. When they don't, I swear to you, it's not like it's a bad thing, but it takes so much out of me to redirect and get back on schedule. And that's not a shot at nobody. That's just who I am naturally. Like, I'm a robot. Like, I got a routine, I got a schedule I go by, and my mindset works that way. And then when in the real world, the physical doesn't align with how I mentally manage my time. You want to talk about a boy out of sorts, man. I get all auto whacked up, you know what I'm saying? But I'm good. It was nothing horrible, nothing like that. It was just I had to, in my own space, um, get the management of my time equalized to the real world surrounding me, right? So welcome to the show, man. It's all great. I want to start reminding myself to be mindful of the path that the ancestors put forward, for me to be able to just do this. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, on this exact date, 825, in the good year of 1908. Now, depending upon your disposition in 1908, it's probably not a good year, but I'm just saying overall. In the good year of 1908, Nurse Mary Mahoney founded the National Association of Negro Nurses. That's a big thing, man. You know what I'm saying? In that sense of things, we got to understand what the time was. Let's be mindful of this as well. That says the National Association of Negro Nurses. Understand this: women's suffrage. That whole energy movement probably began about that time, but it didn't really see fruition probably till about the 1920s. So understand like what she was doing. Yes, it was for Black nurses. However, it was so much more powerful that in the grand circle of women as nurses. Now I want to be mindful. That time, yeah, there was probably many more female nurses than males. But nowadays, I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I would assume just because of my condition bias that we have a lot more female nurses now than we do have males. But I could be totally wrong on that. It could be 50-50. It could be the other way. Could we have more male nurses? I'm not sure, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, what she did was monumental. So thank you, Sister Mahoney, for blazing that path. The one thing that I did read today that I thought was um, mindful for myself was to understand the ancestors and their path, right? What we have to understand is we can't forget history, but we can't repeat history. And what I mean that is, yes, there was some people before us that did great things. Understand the time and place of those things that being done. Sometimes you can't do or walk that same path laid 150 years ago because the reality of the present time does not correlate with what could be have done, what was being done at that time. Even to go say you can't some situations, some environments you can't continue the path or walk the path or um, use 5 years ago as an example, because so many things have changed. Right back to the proverb of no man steps in the same river the same man twice. Like that's insane. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes yes, it's good to utilize some of those blueprints that were laid before, but then sometimes if there's a more practical and tangible and conducive to current times pathway, then by all means let's try to explore that option as well. So do your thing the way you want to do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't recreate the wheel, just make the rules a lot smoother. You feel me? So that's where you have that, right? And so today's show, man, is going to be almost like a potpourri, potpourri. Like I said before, topic du jour of things to go around. There's so many things happening over the course of the weekend. I don't know if I do like a lot of entertainment stuff. I don't really. I don't know the last time I've been to a movie. I don't really follow that stuff, but I'm sure there was something out there that caught your eye in the pop world, pop culture, whether it's a movie, shoes, a new release, or whatever. But sports, like I said, I keep an ear to it because I grew up on sports. I don't really follow it as strongly as I used to. But I do because it's on. There's a lot of good background noise. Um, Hold on one second. Look, man, I'm trying to do real live stuff on air, but it is what it is. That's real life. You can do those things, man. Like I can't multitask. Like so, cast that's like on news or other shows, and they're looking at their phone and I can't do that. I'm old, man. I do one thing at a time. That's what I told you earlier. I'm a robot. One train of thought. That's what I got. You're lucky you can get two trains. They got to be moving the same direction. They can't be going in opposite directions or crisscrossing. It's not gonna work for you, boy. I got, like I said, my mind works in a whole different format function. So back to like sports, I don't really like dig movies and stuff. That I think the three shows. I was really engaged in three shows. Godfather of Harlem, like I love it. Snowfall was, man, I watched every episode on the night it came out. You know what I'm saying? But that's over. Godfather Harlem had taken a break. They're back. And then the other one was City on the Hill. It was a little show. I think it was on Showtime, but they stopped it during the pandemic and then came back. I kind of dig that show. So that's about it. I can't tell you movies. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't really do movies. This is how out of touch I am. I just watched the last installment of Bad Boys. What's that? Bad Boys for Forever or for Life or something. Took me a minute. And I'm a bad boy. I love it like since the day one, Miami. But it's just not where I'm at, right? So I like to just stay on topics that I kind of know about. At least pretend that I know about. Sports is one of them. I know we just had the Little League World Series. Golf is finishing up. NASCAR, yes, I like NASCAR. It is what it is. I don't know what gets me going, but I watch some NASCAR. I watch golf all day long if you let me. It ain't got to be the men. I watch the women play. I watch the amateurs play. I love it when they have the HBCU Classic and watch them young brothers out there on that golf course. Boy, they be putting it down. Don't even underestimate what we got going on in the golf world. Man, I'm always looking for black owned stuff, and I came across East Side Golf Club man a couple years ago. So I got a couple of their stuffed bag, wristbands, hat shirts, you know what I'm saying? Because I like it. I like supporting black attire in golf. Like I got black cologne, black watches, Benjamin Banneker watches, and hey, trying to support, man. So with that being said, a lot of things going on, right? A lot of things going on. I don't want to, be like the broken record. Shador Sanders, man, I hope he just gets what he got to get to his position, get to get to a place where he can just be him. You know what I'm saying? Forget all of everything else. Just be him. I said this before. What's crazy is, you know, you get. It's funny how some fathers can do certain things with their children and other fathers can't. You know, already know what I'm talking about. But it's just wild to me how we just pick and choose and then we sensationalize and hyperbole and all of those things go in there. But I hope Shador gets there. Shiloh, Shiloh went to the school of, hey, bro, you throw them bowls, university. You throw them, I'm throwing them back. Don't even. So here's, I had, because when I seen it, I'm like, I can only assume, right? If you are the offspring, doesn't matter boy or girl, you're an offspring, the child of a celebrity, athlete, somebody in the public eye, right? There's probably a certain image that the outside world looks at you with, right? Uh, like maybe you're privileged, like yeah, maybe you're a bruh, but you ain't a bruh, or yeah, maybe you Latino, but you ain't Latino. You know what I'm saying? And so then you always going to be tested. You always going to, and he was like, look here, bruh. My last name's be Sanders and my pop might be Dion, but you're not about to just do that to me. You know what I'm saying? I like that, because that's what's going to happen, especially if you a child of someone in the public eye. People are always going to test you because the first thing they think is the kid with the silver spoon. You don't know these hard streets. You don't know what I grew up on. You know what I'm saying? You did this. You did. Well, I'm over here starving. You get to lead this game and hop in a Benz, and you ain't hop in a Bentley, and you ain't played. I'm out here like from the mud trying to get it. And when I leave practice, if I ain't getting in the lift, I probably got my 2000 Honda out there with 300,000 miles on it. And yeah, I'm testing you. You know what I'm saying? So, Shiloh, I hope Shiloh, man, gets him into a space where he can, utilize his skills. I think he has a talented skill set. That's just me. I prefer college over pros when it comes to football. I watch high school. I watched the high school jump off this week. Oh man, these young brothers be on something different. Only thing I would say is this, because that's one of my pet peeves. As much as it's sensationalized about the athletic gifts that brothers have, I wish that the same energy would be directed towards more academic pursuits by young brothers, because we got so many young, wonderful, incredibly genius young brothers out there doing amazing things outside of athletics. And we only hear about, now let me be careful, you hear about them few and far, but generally we only hear about them if they break that glass ceiling and go to a space where we got the first now. You know what I'm saying? We need more of the highlight and sensation of that. You know what I'm saying? That would be my biggest pet peeve when it comes to what I see when I watch young brothers play. on football, but they had some great games, man. They had Philly, the state of Philly, playing the state of Florida. There was some Georgia in there versus Ohio, I think. You had Cali on Cali. That was a great game. That one, the one I seen, actually took place close to where I'm at up here in Northern California. I think it was Modern Day. Put the hands on Grant Union. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Grant Union. Hey, shout out Grant Union. Let me say that again. If I'm gonna go, yeah, it's great to have your elite schools. And think about this when you think about high school football. Most of them are private schools, Catholic schools, academies. Sometimes you got to pay to get there. Sometimes it's who you know. Yes, your athletic ability can go a long way. And all I'm saying is let's have some more, Grant Union v. Castlemont. Shout out East Oakland. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the other schools in the other states because I'm not there, but I'm sure there's a high school in inner city Houston that isn't in the top 100 that can play some ball. Same, like I'm sure there's some in the inner city of Detroit that can play some ball. They just ain't the top 100, And then we sell these kids these pipe dreams, and you have to go here, and then we wonder why it's a struggle to get young bros to go from PWIs to HBCUs. You get the glorification of HBCUs, and they got all this NIL money and all these other things that they can give these kids millions and billions of dollars. Not to say that they're ever going to amount to anything off the field, you know. But we need that same energy for PWIs. We need that same energy going into HBCUs. You know what I'm saying? We need that same energy going into to inner city schools, Title I schools across the board, right? And then we can start to see some of the turnaround that when we start talking about here equality across the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Just do your research on who gets funded what, man. And when we start talking about these big colleges and why they get these big stadiums and why HBCUs got these little bitty stadiums or they have to go play at NFL locations, and everything is for a reason, which I'm gonna get into shortly because I don't want to take up too much time. I actually got to split in like less than 10 minutes. I just want to talk about tyranny real quick. Looking across the political landscape and seeing what's going on. You know, and I don't want to accuse anyone of tyranny. Just want to point out some things that might suggest if it's a duck and it looks like a duck and it sounds like a duck, then yeah, it might be a duck. You know what I'm saying? I know, like in the Declaration of Independence, like all of that was basically a letter, an announcement to the king saying, "Dog, you know what I'm saying? You representation or taxation without representation. You know what I'm saying? You put in all these armed militias in our housing. You kind of just like strong arming us through the avenue of military force, right?" Now, right now we have had um, um, National Guard deployed in LA, now the District of Columbia. There's talk about Chicago. There's all these other places. Oakland, shout out Oakland. That's where I'm from. Um, you know, it's easy to say, oh, those cities do this. Okay, yeah, so do other cities, right? I think it's important to note that, most of these states and most of these cities are governed or have mayors that are black or and we're not sending them. Well, there's no talk of National Guard into states or cities where the so-called leader, mayor, governor, what have you, is not black, right? And so, you know, tyranny as a definition is a nation under cruel and oppressive government. Cruel and oppressive. Now, if you're on the side of the other side, you're probably, that's not cruel. We're just trying to protect our people, right? And if you're on the other side, you're probably, that's not oppressive. That's just us protecting our people. It's funny how the same thing can be seen two different ways completely, right? Because if you've lived a privileged life and you've never ever even had second thoughts of any kind of law enforcement or a militia just pulling you over for no reason, beating you for no reason, killing you for no reason, detaining you for no reason. Well, they detain you for both of our safety. If you never had that, then I understand why they have that perception. Like, no, we're not oppressive and it's not cruel. This is what we need to keep our streets safe. But then what about the notion that this is only happening in black run cities or states? Then, well, it's just coincidence. Again, it's how you see things, man, and the position you stand on that fence, or what side of that fence you stand on. Um, the crazy part about tyranny, it doesn't have to necessarily be from a collective group like an oligarchy, or I want to be a communistic state, anything like that. It can be from a single individual, a dictator, or whatever the case is. And it manifests itself in a very ugly way, where people are oppressed and threatened by the use of violence. Now, again, I always say this about this particular land. It claims to be the self-proclaimed progressive country in the world, but it always shows its true nature when the only way it thinks to get peace is by violence. I can't understand, how you um insert military personnel into any civil society and think that's going to make anything better. I just don't see it. I don't understand that part. It goes to the point that this land, this particular country, is built on violence. Look at the Declaration of Independence, and the Revolutionary War. Just think about that. Just think about that. It is about violence. It's never been about, restorative justice. It's never been about democratic resolve to things. It's by force. It's by force we're going to do this. And now I don't think this is necessarily about a takeover. I think it's just about a show of force. Um, and I have a funny feeling, one thing leads to another. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to say, they're going to be quartering our homes, the militia, but as a matter of fact, that's how we got to the Revolutionary War, because they probably didn't think it was ever going to happen, and then things started happening. We have an absolute abuse of power. But again, I want to make sure I'm clear about what I'm going to say. I'm not saying that this is solely confined to the current administration. There's been very other administrations that have done oppressive things. You know what I'm saying? Lots of them. But I think this one is currency bias, and it's right in our face, and we need to be conscious of that. In the Declaration of Independence, well, I want to say in the Constitution, it gives us the right to file grievance against our government, and it also gives us the right to question and fight against tyranny. That is a big word. There's so much in there, and again, it depends on what side of the fence you're on, is how you view the current activities coming outside the White House, as it sits here today. With that, I'm going to end this show because, like I said, I got something to do at 4:00 in 4 minutes, and I still got to drive there. But beautiful black people, man, I love you. I just do this because I love you, man, and I hope it inspires somebody to do something one day. Again, like I always say, man, if you just have a conversation with somebody that doesn't look like you and doesn't sound like you, and if you just close your mouth, shut up and listen, you just might learn something. Beautiful black people. Until next time, man, I love you.
Shout out Bird. Hey. These people do not understand. I'm moving as fast as I can, sending my prayers to God. He doing whatever he can.